Yo, what is going on, Guardians, and welcome back to another Destiny 2 gameplay video. Hey, in this video we're going to be taking a look at some of the maps that are going away when Beyond Light drops in November. And some of these won't be missed, but some of these most definitely will be. So before we dive into that, let's just let me remind you that me, MTashed, and Cactus HD started a brand new podcast, and we recorded our first episode last week. It's called Real Gamer Hour, and we focus on highlighting any news circulating in the gaming community as a whole, not just Destiny, the game itself. So last week we talked about Beyond Light news, leaks, the new Nvidia product line, Twitch banning one of their own staff members after an internal investigation, and much, much more. The link to the Real Gamer Hour YouTube channel is in the description if you'd like to learn more. So, when Beyond Light drops this November, we are expecting a nice chunk of new content, but we also know that we're losing a lot as well, and parting is such sweet sorrow. We as gamers are often sentimental. Even we get sad sometimes or upset about losing content we don't even play anymore, myself included, and it's funny how that works. Some of these maps include Eternity, the original Trials of the Nine map in Year 1 of Destiny 2, Vostok, where the Temple of the Iron Lords rests, and Equinox, the wide open map that helped debut the game mode Breakthrough and ultimately got removed from the rotation due to poor feedback. The thing all these maps have in common is that they are some of the only maps in Destiny 2 that favor scout rifles and sniper rifles with longer zoom values. I'm not a huge fan of these maps, but I did always like that I had a reason to break out some scout rifles and pop off in those areas. But these three aren't in my top 3 that are going away. Next, let me hit 2 more maps before we hit the top 3. I want to hit the map I'm excited to wave goodbye to since it's absolutely terrible. And I want to hit my honorable mention as a map I'm also sad to see go, but didn't make the top 3. So first, let's chat about Firebase Echo. If you don't recall which map that is, let me help you out. It's the one that sucks. It's the one that's it's symmetrical and one that came into Destiny 2 when the Forsaken dropped. We first saw this map when Bungie did a reveal stream featuring Cosmo using the Luna's Howl for all to see for the first time in live gameplay. It has the 2 elevators on opposite ends of the elevated hallway where Heavy spawns, and the B flag spawned in a pit where all good Guardians go to die. It was an awful map, and after it received heavy criticism from the community, it was removed from all standard playlist rotations, and not a single tear was shed. I'm not at all sad to see this map get vaulted, but on the flip side, there's a map that I'll say is an honorable mention for me. It's a map that I actually really loved and have sincerely missed ever since it was removed from the rotation. It's the only map that takes Guardians toe-to-toe against each other in the Tangled Shore. I'm talking about Gambler's Ruin. This map is a favorite of mine. You could snipe, you could shoddy, you could fusion, you could pulse, you could sidearm, you could mess people up with just about anything on this map. All playstyles could succeed there. The map had great routes for rotation and getting out of trouble. It had ups and downs that when you learned to really traverse the map, you could really leverage to your advantage consistently. Lots of pits and little things you could jump up on top of and use as cover. I love that map, and I'm sad to see it get vaulted. I will sincerely miss it, but I know that this one was, for most people, I think, a love it or hate it map, and many people don't share my love for it. It also was a fantastic map for doubles. The doubles playlist is one of my favorite playlists to ever play in Destiny 2. Heavy skill-based matchmaking is alive and well in the doubles playlist, as well there should be. It was just a really cool playlist where you could go toe-to-toe against other Guardians around your skill level and really feel like you're in an intense duel and have a partner to play off of. What a wonderful playlist. I'm so sad they haven't brought that playlist back for months and months and months. It's been so long since the doubles playlist was around, and I really do miss it. I wish they would bring it back. I would live in that playlist if they had it as like a set rotation at least, maybe a weekly option. So what's your take on Gambler's Ruin? Let me know in the comments how you feel about this map. I miss the Tangled Shore and the music that accompanied it as well. Alrighty, let's move on to the top 3 maps that we're losing. Not losing. Losing isn't a word, but I'm gonna probably not edit this out anyways and just let you make fun of me. In the number 3 spot, I'm going to say a map that you've most likely not played on in a while. It's Emperor's Respite. This map was frequently used in any playlist that had Countdown as a game mode, but also served as a staple in the Control and Clash playlists for a long time earlier in Destiny 2's life. It was eventually removed from those playlists because people pointed out the imbalance of the positioning of the capture flags A, B, and C. But instead of making some adjustments to where those flags are placed, they opted to remove the map and only let it come around in Rumble and Countdown. And this was a shame because honestly, this map was one of the coolest environments to play PvP in. The very first PC PvP gameplay we saw from Bungie was on this map in 60 glorious frames of Guardians clashing over that gap on the map. Fighting on the Leviathan was a real treat, and the map was well designed and had several options for flanking and rotating spawns. With a little love from Bungie, the flags could have been repositioned, and I think the map would still be a favorite to this day. But one thing worth noting is that Rumble enthusiasts may really miss having this map around because it still stayed in the Rumble playlist. And the one thing that made people get frustrated in sixes about the map also happens to be the one thing that makes it one of the best Rumble maps ever. The map is really segmented into different sections, and this means that third-partying fights becomes much more difficult in Rumble. Players could really focus on their duels on that map in Rumble, with less concern about another player showing up and yoinking their kill or shooting them as soon as the fight is over and you need to reload, your health is low. So I'm bummed to see this map get vaulted. I do hope we see it make a glorious return someday. Moving on to my number 2 of the top 3 maps we're losing, let's chat about Solitude. I'm definitely going to miss Solitude. This was one of our Mars maps that came with the Warmind DLC in Year 1. And that DLC was the best content we had seen in the game during Year 1 and helped to breathe some much needed life into the game. PvP numbers skyrocketed when Warmind dropped, and players dove headfirst into the Crucible to enjoy new weapons and even have a go at snagging the elusive Redrix's Claymore, which remains one of the rarest weapons in the history of Destiny at this point. Guardians were starting to feel powerful again, and the numbers reflected that. Solitude was a great addition to the PvP rotation since it featured large open areas with unique sight lines into the B flag area. This meant that pulse rifles and many auto rifles and even scout rifles could really shine here. And there's one detail that is often overlooked about this map. The terrain is very unpredictable and has lots of bumps and grooves and elevation changes that are abrupt. And that's the one thing about a map that can throw off sniping. Sniping becomes much more difficult when you have to account for so many elevation changes instead of just hard scoping at head level over an even surface. So there's a bit of a skill gap there. So people may not have even noticed it, but many ranged primaries were able to shine on Solitude because of this. Because sniping against those primaries was a little bit more difficult for the common player. Also, if you're a real brawler of a player, you could just go inside and let your fists and shotgun and fusion and sidearms do all the talking. So I will really miss this map, and I'm sad to see it go. And finally, the number 1 map on my top 3 that we're losing, it's Retribution. I firmly hold the position that Retribution has consistently been one of the absolute best maps for 6v6 and doubles in Destiny 2 since launch. At one point, the map got sidelined and completely revamped to give it additional avenues for players to move about the space. This map allowed Guardians to really lean into the power fantasy of their builds and let some really cool crowd control abilities shine. Risk Runner could shine here, Trinity Ghoul, Arcweb, Sunspots, Tempest Strikes were so cool to use when pushing any of the numerous corners. Tether was good here, Nova Bomb was good here. There are just so many playstyles that can really come alive in an environment with mostly low ceilings, where Dawn Blades aren't flying way above your field of view and Hunters aren't using Stompies to go to the moon and back. This map has always excited me, and I absolutely love playing there. This one, to me, is a real loss for the Destiny community. And I'm working on a letter to my senator to see if we can stop this thing from getting vaulted. How do you feel about Retribution? Do you feel as strongly as I do about it? And how would your list of top 3 maps we're losing look? And that full list, by the way, is Meltdown, Solitude, Retribution, Citadel, Emperor's Respite, Equinox, Eternity, Firebase Echo, Gambler's Ruin, Legion's Gulch, and Vostok. All of those maps are getting vaulted this November. So thanks for watching the video. Please come by the live stream sometime at fb.gg/thetruevanguard or just truevanguard.com. We would love to see you there. GamerSupps also just launched a brand new mango flavor, and it's absolutely delicious. So feel free to snag some of that and use my discount code TrueVanguard and save you some cash while giving me a little kickback too. So please be warm and well fed, my friends, and I hope to catch you in the Crucible.